Hello, truth seekers. Lawrence here, and welcome to Easy Enlightenment. So, now you know that the nature of the consciousness is conscious and empty, and you also know that you are that. However, the concept or idea is not freedom, isn't it? The idea doesn't help us to dissolve the mind and its byproduct, which is the fear. Knowing you are that can be inspiration, can be a fire starter to actually reclaim who you are. But to reclaim who you are or to anchor in who you are as consciousness, we have to be part of dismantling the mind. Why dismantling the mind? Because who we are right now is simply the mind, isn't it? And the mind is simply our experience. Whatever we have gone through in our lives always leaves the residue as an idea of likes and dislike. And our whole life has been repeating certain idea, especially the idea that is providing us pleasure, joy, fun. We repeat those ideas. And now those idea has become the conditioning in the body and conditioning in the mind, and that is sitting in us in the mind as a preference or belief. So, who we are so far is simply the mind. Even we are consciousness, even our nature is conscious. It's present from the beginning till now. We weren't able to rest in who we are. We're not able to recognize we are that. Because our whole life has been the outward journey, projecting out. And to rest in who we are is projecting in, turning the awareness back to ourselves. And we are not able to turn the awareness back to ourselves from the beginning to till now. Isn't it? It's always outside. And the outward movement has created so much, invited so much layers in us, so much experience in us. And now, right now, we are lost in the experience and lost in the mind. And right now, we seek freedom in the mind. And because of that, we are not able to see the truth of who we are as consciousness. So, to realize the truth of who we are, or to realize we are consciousness, is by removing everything from our mind. Remember what I said in the beginning? The nature of the consciousness is conscious and empty. Empty. Who you are is empty without the mind. Mind is something. Without the mind is empty. So, the dismantling work has to be there. We have to trace the mind backward all the way to figure out why the mind is there in the first place. And we have to trace the root of the mind further back to dissolve the mind. So the subtracting the mind or dismantling the mind journey has to be there, must be there to see the truth of who you are. And right now, spirituality is a trend. And within the spirituality, there's another trend called meditation. Especially when you start to align with the spirituality, you are also aligning with the meditation. Especially the meditation is the trend in the world because of its positive outcome. Whoever aligns with the meditation definitely sees the positive result. And because of the positive result, people are addicted to the meditation now. In the relative world, meditation works to anchor yourself. That's what the meditation does. It will help you to move from the agitated body towards a calm body. It helps you calm your nervous system. It helps you calm your mind from overthinking towards a simple mind. And when the result is this, when you're experiencing this, you repeat this. And from this repetition, it is also helping you to focus in the things that you are doing right now. And when you see the result in a positive way, you are naturally repeat, and from that repetition, you get addicted to meditation, isn't it? Some of you are addicted to meditation so much that if you skip the meditation even for one day, you feel the itch in the body, isn't it? So the meditation is supposed to, the ultimate purpose of the meditation is to realize the truth. That's the meaning the world has given. That's the intention. However, when you start to do meditation, there's so much distraction as well, and people get caught up in the distraction, and the main intention, the main purpose of the meditation is lost just because of the distraction. And here's another thing, guys. Most of the meditation that is available in the world is about adding layers in the mind, isn't it? You are adding mantra. You're repeating the mantra silently in the mind, or you're creating a sound, or you're visualizing something in the body, visualizing light, visualizing, a lot of visualizations are present there as a practice. Or there is a bodily practice. You're focusing certain part of the body, and you're prolonging the focus. So whether you're focusing on the body, on certain point, certain part of the body, or you're doing the mantra, or you're visualizing, all those techniques are the layers on the mind. Those layers definitely help you simplify and even anchor yourself through those practices. But those practices is still the layers. And you're prolonging your focus on those things, you are getting stuck on those layers. Especially prolonging those practice for long enough, again, it will give you so much experience, and the experience makes you get distracted from the real journey. The thing is that you are already distracted, isn't it? You have forgotten the real purpose of the meditation. So adding anything in the mind and sitting with that and concentrating, that is you're focusing outwardly. Even you're inviting certain stuff in your mind, and you're looking in the mind, is still outward journey. The inward journey is about giving up the mind and looking in, and inviting the layer and staying with the layer is still outward. Definitely you are a step back from the world to focus on yourself, but when you focus on yourself, inviting layer, still an outward journey. And this is another thing people don't realize, that when you add layers, whether you're again adding mantras, visualization, or bodily technique, when you add in you don't realize that your consciousness, the awareness, the consciousness in you is being part of that play. Your ego invites the layer, and your consciousness is being part of that layers. When you're sitting down in meditation with any techniques, your consciousness is conscious of that. And whatever you experience, you go through that, your consciousness still observing all that. So consciousness is being part of the play. The consciousness is moving out and playing the game. Consciousness is like the sponge. And all the layers you're inviting in you, it's like the wet paint. And the sponge will just absorb all the paint. And that's what's happening in the meditation. You're sitting down in meditation and visualizing, your consciousness is observing everything that's happening and staying outwardly in the game. To figure out the truth of who you are and rest in who you are, to reclaim your consciousness, is not about playing game. It's not moving out. It's about stopping the game. It's about letting go of all the layers so we can actually see who we are as emptiness, as void, as nothing. But that nothing is not nothing. It's conscious, it's pulsing, it's alive. And there's a saying that this aliveness is undying and undying and unborn. It's always there. Unchanging nature. So to realize, to reclaim I am consciousness, to reclaim the consciousness, it's not about sitting down with the layers and, expanding those layers. In the meditation, you're expanding that layers. Or you're just focused on that layer, and eventually you have the experience of no mind. But the experience of no mind from that concentrated focus doesn't dissolve the fear in your life. Doesn't help you to anchor in who you are. And you have had that moment of no mind in the meditation, isn't it? A lot of you have the experience of no mind. If you have actually experienced a no mind, then your life should be free from your fear. But the reality is your life is still full of fear. That means what you experience no mind is coming from that concentrated focus where eventually the focus dissolves, and that's where the no mind happens. But that is not truth. That is just experience coming in on the consciousness itself. That your consciousness is aware of no mind, isn't it? Again, the consciousness is still observing the play. And enlightenment journey, the spiritual journey, is about taking out all the experience, all the layers, all the ideas from us, so we can turn the awareness back and go in to actually see what consciousness truly is. So, to realize the conscious part of you as emptiness, you have to be empty. You cannot hold on to the layer and thinking and hoping that layer is going to take you to make you see who you are. No. It won't help you to see who you are if you're holding. You have to let go. Everything you have to let go. Even the things that help you, prepare you in your practice must go. If you're not able to let go, that itself is an attachment, a subtle attachment. And because of that, you are stuck there in your meditation. You're stuck in the outward journey. So, if you see what I'm saying, then start the dismantling work. Invite yourself to be part of the self-inquiry of dismantling the mind, which is about tracing the mind backward. Now, for some of you, the tracing the mind backward may be new, isn't it? It's a new idea. So, whether it's new, if you're new or been doing, somehow the truth is still missing, isn't it? So, I invite you to look into your daily situation. There's a friction, there's a fight, there's a anger, there's a madness. And because of all that, all this friction, the attitude of control is there. The attitude of resistance is there. The attitude of running away from the situation is there. So, look into those three attitudes: controlling, resisting, or running away. So you invest whichever part you are aligned with, to deny, to accept whatever is happening in your life. We couldn't accept it. Because of that, there's a control, there's a fight, there's resistance, right? There's a running away attitude. You look, why am I controlling? Why am I resisting? Or why am I running away? When you ask why, there should be answer, because you are acting in such a way. When you're acting in such a way, when you ask yourself why you acting such a way, there should be answer, isn't it? Without the reason, you just don't run away. Without no reason, you don't fight. There's a reason that you're fighting, you're controlling, or you're running away. So ask yourself why. This is the way to trace the mind backward. When you ask why, the why will help you to figure out the root cause of the fight, the root cause of the control, the root cause of the running away from life. And once you figure out the root has to go as well. The root itself is the ingrained conditioning in you. The conditioning is the ingrained belief and physical conditioning, which becomes a mental conditioning. So it's the mental conditioning is there, deep-rooted conditioning. And you have to let go of that to see who you are. So you cannot cling on to those things and also think that you're going to see the truth. No, the root, the conditioning, the deep-rooted belief, the conditioning has to go as well. And that's where the fear comes in, and that's where you need to trace your fear backward using the why. Why do I have fear? Why? Why am I afraid? When you ask this kind of question, that will help you to trace your fear backward, to see the deeper reason behind behind having the fear, the idea of fear. And if you follow back all the way, if you don't stop, then that's the way to go towards the no mind, where you cannot dismantle any further. And this is the way to prepare yourself to be thorough of your mind. And when you look into all aspects of your life where you are heavily attached, where it will show you, do you have to work on all of your attachment in your life. You have to work on all your fears. You have to trace it back, and that will really prepare you to see how the mind come into existence and how the mind takes the driving seat in your life, and how you are the mind. You see that, and that becomes that the whole process shows you how the mind is running your life. And once you are thorough in dismantling the mind, and then when you ask yourself, who am I? And that's where you catch yourself. And that's where you see the nature of the consciousness as conscious. And that's where the mind gives up, the ego gives up. And that's where you become free from your fear. Okay? So that's spiritual journey. So conceptually, you know that the nature of the consciousness is conscious and empty. However, it's just an idea right now. It's just an idea because you still have so much fear in your life. And to live life fearlessly, you need to see who you are. You need to reclaim who you are. And that's how you will be free. So, one more thing. Just don't sit in your meditation and invite layer. Again, remember, this is still outward journey. You're projecting out and being part of the game. Consciousness is being part of the game. The spiritual journey is about stopping all the game to see the raw nature of who you are. That's enlightenment, my friend, if you're able to see it. Okay? Invite yourself to self-inquiry path and allow the simple self-inquiry path to help you realize who you are. The self-inquiry is the journey that is straightforward, simple, and non-confusing. All right? Anyway, thanks for watching this video. I hope this video makes sense to you to some extent. That's it. That's all in this video. By the way, I have just published my book called Unbecoming. I will somehow share that book with you soon. Okay, so anyway, take care for now. See you in the next video. Bye.